Millions over 50 wake up again and again to pee. Left unchecked, that broken sleep drains energy and quietly raises fall risk. Stay with me for a calm, natural plan to ease the nights and protect your days. No extremes, just smart steps. If you're over 50 and find yourself waking up once, twice, sometimes 3 times to use the bathroom, I want to offer a calmer, wiser story than that's just aging. Nighttime trips have reasons, patterns we can see and change, and I'm going to walk you through them without fear or hype. Stay with me through this journey, because at the end of the full content, I'll share a small morning preparation and a simple 3x3 guide that many people use to protect their first block of sleep. And because this is health, details matter. Amounts, timing, and the way you prepare things can make a real difference. So listen closely and adapt only in ways that are safe for you. Let's start by reframing the problem. Nocturia simply means waking at night to pass urine. Common, yes. Inevitable, no. Think of it like a soundtrack that got too loud in the quiet hours. You don't have to smash the speakers. You adjust the dials during the day. That's the core idea here. The day writes the night. Why does it strike so many people after 50? Part biology, part routine. As we age, our sleep becomes lighter and our kidneys' rhythm changes. At the same time, everyday choices nudge the scale the wrong way. Picture a quintessential North American afternoon. Bottomless coffee refills, an iced tea on the drive home, a happy hour beer or two, a salty snack before dinner, and then a generous glass of water because hydration is healthy. None of these are villains alone, but together, and at the wrong times, they push extra fluid and salt into the hours when your body hopes for silence. Here's a gentle first action. Get curious, not strict. For 3 days, jot down what you drink, roughly how much, and when you wake to go. You don't need lab-grade precision. A small notebook or notes app works. Patterns jump out fast. The late evening seltzer, the second cup of decaf at 8 p.m., the large fountain drink with dinner. When you see it, you can shape it. Next, timing, not dramatic cuts. Front-load most fluids earlier. Think of your hydration as a morning to mid-afternoon project. Many people feel better when they taper quantity 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. That's not dehydration, it's strategy. If your mouth gets dry at night, keep a small sip cup by the bed rather than a giant bottle. And when thirst feels relentless in the evening, scan your day. Was lunch too salty, or did you skip water earlier? Caffeine plays a quiet double role. It's not just about stimulation, it can nudge urine production. Consider a soft cutoff in the afternoon, 2 or 3 p.m. for many, and swap the evening coffee refill for herbal tea, in a small cup, or a warm, unsweetened drink you actually enjoy. Alcohol, too, is tricky. A casual glass of wine at happy hour can make sleep lighter and trips more likely. If you do drink, keep it modest and earlier, and follow it with water during the day, not late at night. Salt deserves its own mention. Heavily salted dinners, pizza, deli sandwiches, bar snacks, chips, can drive thirst late, pull extra fluid into your bloodstream, and keep your kidneys busy when you lie down. Try shifting your saltier foods to earlier meals and leaning on fresher, less processed choices in the evening. You may notice that you don't crave a giant drink at 9 p.m. When lunch wasn't a salt bomb. Safety matters. If you take diuretics, water pills, have heart or kidney disease, diabetes, or low blood pressure, don't improvise big changes. The goal is thoughtful adjustments, ideally with your clinician's guidance. This isn't about withholding fluids until you feel parched. That can backfire and isn't wise. Another small but powerful move, protect your first chunk of sleep. Dim the house lights an hour before bed. Keep the path to the bathroom safely lit with warm, low-level lighting, and cool the bedroom slightly. Many restless nights start with a tiny interruption that wakes you, and once you're up, the urge to go appears. Sharpen your environment so it's easier to stay asleep in the first place. Let me add a counterintuitive thought. It's not always a weak bladder. Often what you're noticing is a 24-hour fluid story. If your ankles are puffy at the end of the day, that fluid can re-enter the circulation when you lie down, reach the kidneys, and, hours later, you're awake. We'll get deeper into that mechanism and how to influence it safely. But the takeaway for now is hopeful. The system is connected, which means you have more levers than you think. You might be wondering about supplements or miracle tricks. I stay grounded. No magic bullets here. Real wins tend to come from simple, repeatable habits, earlier fluids, salt awareness, kinder evenings, and a sleep setup that doesn't fight you. Keep your notebook, celebrate small nights where you wake one time instead of two, and remember that bodies respond over weeks, not days. If you're still with me, you already did something rare. You changed the story from inevitable to in progress. That shift alone opens space for practical, evidence-aware steps that respect your unique health needs. And yes, when we reach the final part of this content, I'll share that bonus morning preparation and a 3i3 checklist so you can put everything on one page. Until then, follow the small dials. They add up. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It may also lead to unwanted side effects. I'll explain it with a calm, informative approach so you can apply it safely. We've just reframed nighttime bathroom trips as a pattern we can influence, not a fixed sentence. Now I want to reveal the part almost nobody talks about, the hidden upstream causes that make your kidneys busier at night than they should be. Understanding them is empowering, because once you see the mechanism, you can adjust it safely and steadily. Start with a simple image. During the day, gravity is always tugging at us. If your shoes feel tight by evening, or your socks leave a faint indentation, that's fluid pooling in the lower legs. The moment you lie down, that fluid returns to circulation, passes through the kidneys, and becomes, you guessed it, extra urine at exactly the time you hope to sleep. This is called a fluid shift, and it's one reason the night can feel busier than the day. It's not a character flaw or a weak bladder. It's physics plus biology. What can you do without risking extremes? Aim for gentle, repeatable steps that respect your health conditions and your doctor's guidance. A short walk in the late afternoon, 10 to 20 minutes, not a marathon, activates the calf muscles that help pump fluid upward. If your clinician says it's appropriate, consider elevating the legs near heart level for 60-90 minutes in the early evening while you read, call a friend, or watch a show. Some people benefit from daytime compression socks, but that's a medical conversation, especially if you have circulation issues or neuropathy. None of this is about pushing fluid out aggressively. It's about helping your body do what it already wants to do. There's another under-the-radar player: breath. Loud snoring, gasping in sleep, waking up unrefreshed, morning headaches. These can point toward disordered breathing at night. When breathing is repeatedly interrupted, hormones shift in a way that encourages the body to release sodium and water. The result can be nighttime urination, even when evening drinking was modest. If these signs sound familiar, it's worth discussing proper evaluation. Treating the breathing problem is often a quieter way to help the bathroom problem. Now let's talk timing, because timing is a kind of medicine. Your kidneys follow a daily rhythm. When you routinely load them late, big dinners, salty takeout, a large glass of water at 9 p.m., a diet soda while folding laundry, the rhythm gets nudged out of sync. Try to place the heavier salt and fluid earlier, and let evening be about calm and lightness. A smaller plate, more vegetables, fewer packaged snacks. If you enjoy coffee, set a friendly cutoff in the afternoon. If you love tea, choose low caffeine or herbal options at night, and use a small cup instead of a bottomless mug. For alcohol, earlier and less is kinder. Think one drink with an early dinner rather than two during a late game. Here's a practical tool that often changes the conversation in a week: a 72-hour bladder and intake diary. Don't worry about perfection. Note the approximate time and amount of each drink, the type: water, coffee, diet soda, beer, and the nighttime wake-ups. You'll quickly see patterns that felt mysterious. The point isn't judgment, it's feedback. If you notice that late-night thirst keeps happening, look for salt earlier in the day. If you see that 2 evening wake-ups follow the day you skipped water until 4 p.m., adjust tomorrow by front-loading your fluids before mid-afternoon. Medication timing deserves respect. If you take diuretics, never shift them without medical guidance, but do bring it up. A dose placed in the earlier afternoon may play differently at night than one taken at dinner. The same is true for other medicines with diuretic effects. Your clinician can help you balance benefits with sleep. Let me weave in some genuinely North American habits that are easy to miss. That sparkling water you love with lime? Great. Have most of it before 3 p.m. The big gulp culture of huge cups is fun on a road trip, but those volumes after dinner are a direct line to 2 a.m. The bar snack bowl, pretzels, peanuts, chips, packs sodium that pulls extra water into the bloodstream as the evening unfolds. Even healthy late-night smoothies can be a lot of fluid right before bed. We're not banning anything. We're placing things where your body can handle them best. Environment matters too. Keep a warm, low blue nightlight on the route to the bathroom to reduce disorientation and prevent stumbles. Store a small, measured sip of water at the bedside instead of a giant bottle. Cool the bedroom slightly and darken it. Your brain associates that with deeper, more consolidated sleep, which means fewer awakenings that trigger the "since I'm up, I might as well go" loop. Finally, a mindset note. Progress with nocturia rarely comes from a single dramatic change. It comes from a cluster of small, humane adjustments you can live with. Modestly earlier fluids, a thoughtful evening plate, a short late-day walk, leg elevation with a book, and a well-timed conversation with your clinician when medicines or sleep breathing may be involved. Track for a week, look at the trend, and tweak. Gentle consistency beats strict rules every time. We're building toward a strategy that protects your first block of sleep and reduces those 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. interruptions. Keep listening closely, because we'll layer these ideas with a simple morning preparation later that supports your daytime rhythm and takes pressure off the night, without grand claims and without unsafe shortcuts. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results, it may also lead to unwanted side effects. I'll explain it with a calm, informative approach so you can apply it safely. You've already seen how daytime choices and quiet shifts in the body can load the night with more urgency than you want. Now let's zoom in on something that changes everything once you notice it: the first block of sleep. Think of those first 90 to 120 minutes as the foundation pour of a house. When that block is solid, deep, steady, uninterrupted, your brain and body act differently for the rest of the night. When it shatters into fragments, everything downstream gets noisier. The urge to go, the grogginess, the restless tossing that turns minutes into hours. I want to make this practical and kind. No scare tactics, just clear cause and effect. Deep sleep in the early night is when your brain trims stress signals, your blood pressure gets its nightly reset, and your balance system, yes, the one that keeps you steady when you stand up in the dark, recalibrates. Protect that phase and you often cut the number of bathroom trips simply because you're not waking as much. Even when you do wake, you're more likely to settle back quickly. Here's the part many people miss. The trigger for breaking that first block is often small. A bright phone screen, a heavy later dinner, a last-minute mug of tea that was more generous than you realized, or even a room that's a few degrees warmer than your body prefers. The fix isn't perfection, it's dialing the environment toward sleep. Start with light. Your eyes are exquisitely sensitive in the evening. Dim the house an hour before bed. Switch lamps to warm bulbs, and if you do look at a screen, shrink the brightness and use a warm filter. Keep a warm, low blue nightlight on the route to the bathroom so you can see without jolting your brain awake. That small change alone prevents the "I'm wide awake now, might as well go" loop for many people. Next, temperature. Most bodies like a bedroom that's a bit cooler at night. Think of the feeling of slipping under a cover in a slightly cool room. A fan or a small white noise machine can smooth out little sounds that would otherwise pop that first sleep cycle. Place the clock where you can't watch it count upward. Clock watching is a nudge toward arousal. Removing the cue lets your nervous system coast. Food and salt deserve close attention here. In North American routines, it's easy to push the largest, saltiest meal to the evening. Takeout sandwiches, salty soups, pizza with sides, a bag of chips during a game. Heavy salt late can make you thirstier right before bed and pull water into the bloodstream that your kidneys will gladly process once you lie down. If you can, move saltier items earlier in the day. In the evening, lean on simpler plates, a palm-sized portion of protein, a good pile of vegetables, and whole grains or a small baked potato instead of deep-fried sides. You're not being strict, you're being strategic. Thirst has layers. Sometimes it's truly thirst. Other times it's habit, taste, or a reflex from salty foods. If your mouth feels dry after dinner, try a small cup, about 120 milliliters, rather than a tall glass. If you enjoy herbal tea, make it earlier in the evening and pour a modest portion. If you love sparkling water with lime, have it with lunch instead of at 9 p.m. One gentle trick. After dinner, swish a splash of water and spit it out. Then take a small sip if you need it. You get the soothing feel without loading the bladder. Movement is a surprising ally. A short, easy walk in the late afternoon or early evening helps your legs do their job as a natural pump. If your ankles tend to swell by nighttime, that fluid can shift back into circulation when you lie down. Elevating the legs near heart level for 60 to 90 minutes before bed, while reading or calling a loved one, can ease that shift before you turn off the light. This isn't a contest of willpower, it's a calm, mechanical nudge. Let's talk about micro-awakenings, because they happen to everyone. When you pop awake and feel an urge, give yourself 1 minute before making a decision. Breathe in a slow 4-second count. Breathe out for 6. Often, the initial signal fades. If you still need to go, keep lights low, move carefully, and keep the path clear of rugs that slide or shoes that catch. Safety isn't optional at night. It's part of health. If the mind starts racing, try a quiet park and return routine. Keep a small notepad at the bedside. Write a single line, just enough to tell your brain, I've captured it. Then gently return to the breath. If you're awake beyond about 20 minutes and feel wired, step into a dim, quiet space and read a paper book for a few minutes. You're sending a message to your body that bed equals sleep, not wrestling. There's also the matter of evening beverages that feel harmless. Decaf coffee still contains a little caffeine. Diet sodas are fluid plus stimulation. A glass of wine loosens the evening but fragments sleep later. None of these are bad. But if the goal is to defend that first sleep block, move them earlier, reduce the size, and enjoy the ritual without the late-night timing. Create a simple, lights-out contract with yourself. 2 to 3 hours before bed, start tapering fluids. An hour before bed, dim the lights and avoid heavy problem-solving. 10 minutes before bed, visit the bathroom, even if you don't feel a strong urge. These tiny steps add up to a calmer first block. Finally, remember the North Star principle. You're not trying to win a willpower contest. You're designing a gentler night. Track for a week. Celebrate the first evening you notice that you slept through to the natural wake-up before dawn, or that you woke once instead of twice. Your body loves patterns. Give it a predictable, kind routine, and it will start doing more of the work for you. You can absolutely change the story here. The aim is fewer awakenings, safer steps when you do get up, and a morning that feels like a beginning, not a recovery mission. Small shifts, light, temperature, salt placement, fluid timing, leg care, and a calm mind routine combine into a foundation that supports everything else we'll build on. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It may also lead to unwanted side effects. I'll explain it with a calm, informative approach so you can apply it safely. Now that you've begun protecting that first block of sleep, it's time to design the day so the night becomes quieter, almost by default. Think of this as a compassionate blueprint, a handful of choices placed at the right times, repeated consistently. No extremes, no sweeping bans, just rhythm. Begin with morning momentum. Within the first 2 hours after waking, drink a moderate glass of water and eat a breakfast that leans on protein and fiber, oatmeal with Greek yogurt and berries, whole grain toast with eggs, or a tofu scramble with spinach. This is a daytime hydration strategy, not a night one. The goal is front-loading. Your body gets what it needs early, and you're not playing catch-up at 8 p.m. If you enjoy coffee, savor it during the morning window and set a friendly cutoff in the early afternoon. It's the classic bottomless cup culture that sneaks up on people. Refill after refill through dinner keeps your kidneys on the late shift. Add a short walk if you can. 10 to 20 minutes of relaxed movement helps circulation, mood, and energy. It also quietly sets you up to handle fluids better through the day. If mornings are packed, slide this into lunch break or the early afternoon. Many North American routines involve long stretches of sitting, commutes, desk work, streaming at night. So plan for little movement snacks. Midday is your second hydration wave. Another moderate glass of water, a colorful plate with vegetables, and a sensible portion of protein. If you're used to salty, fast casual lunches, soups, deli meats, fries, try a couple of swaps. Grilled chicken with extra vegetables instead of the sandwich and chips. A bean and greens bowl instead of a heavy pasta. Place most of your day's sodium here rather than late. You'll notice less evening thirst and lighter nights. Early afternoon is a smart time for decisions that protect the night. If you and your clinician decide that compression socks are appropriate, this is when they do the most good. During the day, not at night. If you take diuretics, discuss with your healthcare professional whether an earlier dose is safer for your sleep. It's not something to change on your own. The point is timing, not more medication. For caffeine, imagine a gentle off-ramp around 2 or 3 p.m. If you like tea later, choose low caffeine or herbal options and use a small cup. Late afternoon is leg-friendly time. Elevate them near heart level for 60 to 90 minutes while you read, watch a show, or chat with a friend. Add an easy stroll before dinner. Together, these moves help shift any pooled fluid before you lie down, reducing the nighttime demand on your bladder. None of this is a race. You're cooperating with your own physiology. Dinner is your prime opportunity to lower the volume on the night. Aim for fresh ingredients and a lighter salt hand. If takeout is the norm, pizza, burgers, burritos, consider doable tweaks. Order a smaller size, skip the extra salty sides, ask for dressings on the side, add a big salad, drink water with dinner, but keep the glass modest. If you enjoy alcohol, earlier and less is kinder to sleep. 1 drink with an early dinner sits differently than 2 during a late game. Evening is where the blueprint gets precise. 2 to 3 hours before bed, start tapering fluids. You're not withholding, you're scheduling. If your mouth gets dry, keep a measured sip nearby. About 120 milliliters is plenty for comfort without overloading the bladder. Switch lights to warm, lower the screen brightness, and consider a quiet, screen-free activity. A puzzle, a paper book, gentle stretching. A cool, dark room supports deeper, early sleep. Keep the path to the bathroom clear and softly lit to prevent stumbles. Let's add 2 tools that make this blueprint measurable. First, a simple 72-hour intake and bladder diary. Write down approximate times and amounts of drinks, what they were, and any nighttime awakenings. We're not after perfection, just a pattern. Second, a weekly sleep and trips snapshot. Note how many bathroom trips you take on 3 typical nights. After a week of applying this blueprint, check again. Most people see a shift, even if it's just 1 fewer wake-up or an easier return to sleep. That's progress worth keeping. For those who love specifics, here's a gentle timeline. Morning, 0 to 2 hours after waking. Moderate glass of water, breakfast with protein and fiber, first coffee window, 5 to 10 minutes of fresh air or a brief walk. Late morning, another small glass of water, focus work. Midday, balanced lunch, place most of the day's sodium here, optional short walk. Early afternoon, last caffeinated drink, discuss medication timing with your clinician if relevant, compression socks during the day if advised. Late afternoon, elevate legs, 60-90 minutes, easy stroll. Early evening, dinner with lighter salt, plenty of vegetables. If alcohol, keep it modest and earlier. Evening wind down, 2 to 3 hours before bed. Taper fluids, warm, dim light, quiet routine. Small measured sip at the bedside if needed. Lights out, bathroom visit, cool room, clock out of sight, safe path lit. North American life offers specific hurdles. Large fountain drinks with dinner, bottomless iced tea refills, and snack bowls during sports nights can easily add a liter or more of fluid at the worst moment. Salty takeout on weeknights pulls extra water into circulation just as you're settling down. None of these need to disappear. Put them earlier in the day, downsize the portions, and anchor your evenings with lighter, fresher choices. Mindset matters as much as the map. You're not chasing perfection. You're building a rhythm that respects your health realities and your preferences. If you have kidney or heart disease, diabetes, low blood pressure, or you use diuretics, partner closely with your clinician as you adjust timing. If loud snoring, gasping, or unrefreshing sleep are common, ask about proper evaluation for sleep-related breathing issues. Addressing root causes often makes the blueprint work even better. The payoff is simple: fewer awakenings, safer steps when you do get up, and mornings that feel like you actually rested. Keep notes for a week or two. You'll see which levers move the needle for your body. Then keep those levers in easy reach. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It may also lead to unwanted side effects. I'll explain it with a calm, informative approach so you can apply it safely. By now, you've started to feel how rhythm, not restriction, shapes the night. We protected that crucial first block of sleep and drew a daytime map that gives your body a fair chance to rest. Today, I want to open a practical toolbox of natural strategies that fit inside ordinary life and still move the needle. No silver bullets, no scary warnings, just steady, evidence-aware habits you can live with. Start with the plate you reach for most days. A bladder-friendly day tends to begin early, not late. I build breakfast around protein and fiber because they calm blood sugar swings and reduce the evening catch-up hunger that pushes heavy dinners. Oatmeal with Greek yogurt and berries, eggs with sautéed greens and whole grain toast, a tofu scramble with mushrooms and spinach. These are boring in the best way, reliable. If you enjoy seeds and nuts, sprinkle a small handful of unsalted pumpkin seeds or almonds at breakfast or lunch rather than at night. They carry minerals like magnesium and zinc without the sodium hit of packaged snacks, and they satisfy the crunch, so you're less likely to chase chips during the game. Midday is a strategic moment for sodium. North American lunches often run salty by default. Deli sandwiches, soups, fries, pickles. If you like those flavors, place them here. 2 shifts help. Order the smaller size and add a big vegetable side, or trade the sandwich and chips routine for a bowl built on greens, beans, and a fist-sized protein. Placing most of the day's salt earlier reduces that late thirst that has you topping off fluids at 9 p.m. without realizing it. Now, the urge-calming toolkit. When urgency spikes, your first move is not speed, it's stability. Pause. Plant your feet. Breathe in for 4, out for 6, and soften your shoulders. Many people find that a brief pelvic floor hold, a gentle squeeze, like stopping gas for 5 to 10 seconds, can quiet the reflex to rush. We're not talking about strenuous workouts here, and certainly not holding breath or straining. It's a polite message to the body. We're okay. If you're unsure about technique or have pelvic pain, ask your clinician about a referral to pelvic floor physical therapy. The right cues matter. Fluid timing remains a cornerstone. You don't need to carry a gallon everywhere, or, on the flip side, avoid drinking. Both extremes can backfire. Aim for steady sips through the morning and early afternoon, then begin a calm taper 2 to 3 hours before bed. If your mouth is dry at night, keep a measured 120 milliliter sip by the bed. Decaf coffee still has a little caffeine. Diet sodas add stimulation and volume. Herbal tea is gentler but still fluid, so place them earlier or keep portions modest after dinner. It's not about forbidding favorites, it's about making them work with you. Legs and lymph are underrated allies. If your socks leave marks by evening, the fluid that settles in the lower legs during the day can shift back into circulation when you lie down. Short late-day walks and leg elevation near heart level for 60 to 90 minutes do quiet work here. While you relax with a show or a crossword, elevate, breathe, and let the body redistribute that fluid before lights out. Compression socks can help some people during the day, but they're a medical decision, especially if you have artery disease, neuropathy, or skin issues, so talk with your clinician before you buy a drawer full. Environment ties these pieces together. A cool, dark bedroom reduces micro-awakenings that tend to trigger bathroom trips. Dimming lights an hour before bed teaches your brain to drift rather than sprint. Keep the path to the bathroom softly lit with warm light. This is about safety as much as comfort. A calm, well-lit route prevents stumbles, lets you move without fully waking, and protects balance. 2 habits sound simple and turn out to be powerful. First, a 72-hour intake and bladder diary. Approximate times and amounts are enough. You're looking for patterns, not perfection. Second, a weekly snapshot. For 3 nights, note how many wake-ups you had and how quickly you fell back asleep. Even a shift from 2 wake-ups to 1, or an easier return to sleep, is progress. When you see it on paper, motivation stops being theoretical. Let's also be honest about North American routines. Bottomless iced tea refills with dinner are generous hospitality, not a bedtime favor. The giant smoothie after a late workout is a lot of fluid all at once. Spicy wings and salty pretzels make you thirsty just as the game ends. None of these need to vanish from your life. Put the larger portions early in the day, downsize at night, and swap a portion of packaged snacks for whole foods with fewer additives. Remember, we place, we don't punish. Herbal routines can be pleasant and safe for many, with a few notes. A small cup of chamomile or a cinnamon stick steeped in hot water can signal wind down, made earlier in the evening and kept modest in volume. If you have allergies to plants in the daisy family, skip chamomile. If you take medications or have chronic conditions, consider a quick check-in before adding new herbs. And resist the urge to overdo natural diuretics in the evening. They can defeat the purpose. Medication timing is not a DIY project, but it is part of the conversation. If you take diuretics for heart, kidney, or blood pressure issues, ask your clinician whether an earlier dose fits your plan. If you notice that certain medicines increase urination, bring that observation to your next visit. A minor schedule tweak may buy you a calmer night without sacrificing daytime control. Finally, mindset. The goal isn't to white-knuckle your way through the evening. The goal is to cooperate with your circadian rhythm so the bladder is simply less relevant at 2 a.m. You're stacking small wins: a steadier breakfast, salt placed earlier, movement that helps your legs, a gentle taper of fluids, a safer bedroom, and a calmer way to meet sudden urges. Give it 7 to 14 days and watch your notes. The pattern usually shifts. You're doing more than reducing bathroom trips. You're building a kinder day that pays you back at night. Keep going, keep observing, and keep adapting with care. The next tip is one of the most important. And ignoring it won't just limit your results. It may also lead to unwanted side effects. I'll explain it with a calm, informative approach so you can apply it safely. Everything we've practiced so far points to one clear truth. Restful nights are built in daylight. That's the heart of this journey. And it's time to make it tangible with a simple morning preparation and a compact framework you can keep on your fridge. I'll keep the tone steady and the guidance practical because this is about health, not hype. Here's the main idea, put plainly. Your bladder is following signals it receives from the rest of you. How much fluid and salt you took in and when, how your legs handled gravity, whether alcohol or caffeine are still on duty, how calm your nervous system feels, and how smoothly you breathe at night. When those inputs line up earlier in the day, the night gets quieter almost on its own. So the climax of this story isn't a trick. It's a rhythm you can repeat. Let's turn that rhythm into breakfast. The goal is to front-load hydration, protein, and fiber while avoiding a sodium surge that will chase you into the evening. A make-ahead jar solves the morning rush and keeps choices consistent. Overnight oats with pumpkin seeds and blueberries. In a jar or bowl, combine 1 2-cup 45-50 old-fashioned oats, 3 4-cup 170-gram plain Greek yogurt or a dairy-free alternative, 1 to 2 cup 120 milliliter milk or fortified plant milk, 2 tablespoons 20-gram unsalted pumpkin seeds, 1 to 4 cup fresh or frozen blueberries, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, and a tiny splash of vanilla. Stir, seal, and refrigerate overnight. In the morning, give it a quick stir and eat it as is, or add a few slices of banana. If you prefer it looser, add a splash of liquid. If you're sensitive to dairy, choose lactose-free or a soy-based yogurt for protein. If you manage blood sugar, keep fruit portions modest and pair with protein. The purpose here isn't a superfood claim. It's a reliable, satisfying start that helps you place nutrients and fluids early. Why this mix? Oats and yogurt bring fiber and protein for steadier energy. Pumpkin seeds add minerals and healthy fats without late-day sodium. Blueberries add flavor and color with minimal extra liquid. Most importantly, the portion is designed for the morning window when your body can use it best. Now for the evening counterpart, a small, early wind-down drink, not a late big mug. 2 to 3 hours before bed, steep a chamomile bag with a short cinnamon stick in hot water for 5 to 7 minutes, then pour about 120 milliliters into your cup. Enjoy the aroma and the ritual, and stop there. If you have allergies to the daisy family, choose a different herbal option, or skip herbs entirely and simply warm a small splash of milk. The point is a soothing cue without loading your bladder. To anchor your day, tape up the 3x3 nights checklist. 3 habits. Place roughly 60–70% of daily fluids before mid-afternoon. Elevate legs 60–90 minutes in the late afternoon and take a gentle stroll. Put most of the day's sodium at lunch and lighten dinner. 3 critical times. 6 hours before bed, stop caffeine. 3 hours before bed, begin the fluid taper. 1 hour before bed, dim lights, visit the bathroom, cool the room, keep the path safely lit. This is a framework, not a test. On busy days, do what you can and return to it tomorrow. When you treat health as a rhythm, consistency beats intensity. A few safeguards keep this plan both natural and safe. Never make big changes to prescribed medications without your clinician's guidance. Timing adjustments, especially with diuretics, are medical decisions. Avoid extreme fluid restriction. Staying too dry can cause dizziness, blood pressure drops, or other issues. If you have kidney or heart disease, diabetes, low blood pressure, or you're on multiple medications, bring this plan to your healthcare professional and personalize it together. If snoring, choking sounds in sleep, or unrefreshing mornings are common, a proper evaluation for sleep-related breathing problems can make every other step here work better. Safety is part of the result. Let's also translate the plan into North American life. If you love that diner coffee, enjoy it in the morning window and switch to water or herbal tea by early afternoon. If takeout is part of your week, order smaller, add a salad, and place the salt earlier in the day. If you're a sports night snacker, trade part of the chips for carrots and hummus and keep the drinks modest. If you like a glass of wine, have it with an early dinner, not while you're scrolling at 10 p.m. And if your routine includes a giant cup in the evening, seltzer, smoothie, or diet soda, move it to lunchtime and watch how the night softens. The best part of this approach is how it feels week to week. You don't have to wait months to notice whether it's working. Keep a simple diary for 7 days. If your notes show fewer awakenings, quicker returns to sleep, or even just calmer evenings, mark that as success and keep going. If your notes don't change, scan for the biggest outliers: late salt, late large drinks, or missed leg elevation. Tweak one lever at a time and give it 3 to 4 nights. I want to close with encouragement. Your nights are not a verdict on your age or willpower. They're a reflection of the day you designed. When you place small habits with care, the night often becomes a quieter place to rest. If this guidance helped you, share it with someone who needs a gentler night. Tap the like button so this message reaches more people, and subscribe for more practical, natural strategies that respect your health and your time. Progress isn't a straight line. It's a rhythm, one that you can learn. The next tip is one of the most important, and ignoring it won't just limit your results. It may also lead to unwanted side effects. I'll explain it with a calm, informative approach so you can apply it safely.